First, let me make one thing damn clear. This video is based entirely on my personal experience.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
So, if you happen to disagree, that's totally fine. No, that's not fine, you idiot. You can't fucking disagree with me.
Everybody just calm down.
Just kidding, at least don't immediately slam the dislike button. My channel average can't handle that kind of cardio. So back to the video, let me ask you something. When was the last time you started a new project? Like a side project or even just a prototype? And the very first thing you did was Google Best Front-End Framework 2026. Be honest. You spent an hour comparing solid versus svelte versus quick. You checked the GitHub stars. You got that little dopamine hit, that feeling of, yeah, I'm using the good shit. I'm future-proof. And then you wrote like 2 components, and maybe you never finished the project. I have to call you an idiot again, lil bro, for that. The dopamine cycle, the part where we get hooked to the framework. Look, I get why we do it. Why we get addicted to frameworks. Look, I am a developer myself. I love new toys. 15 years ago, we were just writing jQuery and praying it worked on IE6. It was painful. So when AngularJS came out and then React, it felt like salvation. Someone was finally managing the DOM for us. We could just write components and stop worrying about document get element by ID. That was the hook, the promise of a better developer experience. But here's the thing about the tech industry. It runs on hype. There's this thing called the Gartner hype cycle. It goes like this. 1. Technology trigger. Someone at a conference drops a new framework. Let's call it Blazor. 2. Peak of inflated expectations. Every tech influencer is milking it for clicks.
Why Blazor is the future.
3. Trough of disillusionment. You try to build something real with it, and you realize the documentation sucks and the ecosystem is empty. You get sad. 4. Slope of enlightenment. The people who stuck with it actually figure out how to build useful shit. The problem is, as part of an industry, we're fucking addicted to phase 2. That peak. The feeling of being on the ground floor of something new. It feels like productivity, but it's actually just shopping. We're shopping for frameworks instead of building things. Part 2. The 4 hidden costs. Cost 1. Cognitive load and context switching. The first cost is your brain. Yes, your brain, you idiot. There's a reason why 83% of developers report feeling burnt out. It's not just the hours, it's the cognitive load. When you use 4 different frameworks on the same project, or even just switch frameworks every 6 months, you're forcing your brain to hold 4 different mental models at once. Free agent. A real company wrote about this. They were running jQuery, React, and Stimulus all at the same time. They said events wouldn't fire correctly between frameworks. Now I have to call them an idiot too. Engineers had to stop thinking about the user and start thinking about, how do these 2 fucking frameworks talk to each other? That's the tax. You are paying with your attention. And attention is a finite resource. Every time you learn a new way to do a use effect or a new reactivity pattern, that's brain space that could have been used to understand your user's problem better. You fucking idiot. Cost 2. The performance tax on users. The second cost is the one we conveniently ignore because it usually doesn't affect us. We're all sitting here with MacBook Pros, 32 gigs of RAM, and blazing fast fiber internet. But our users? Yeah, not so much. And honestly, I'm right there with them. Did you really think I'm sitting here with a MacBook Pro and 32 gigs of RAM? Please. I'm broke, you idiot. My laptop starts wheezing if I open more than 3 tabs. Let's look at the benchmarks because I know you nerds love numbers. A 2025 study compared Svelte, React, and Vue. The results? Svelte rendered in 110 milliseconds. React took 170. Vue was in the middle, but the real killer isn't rendering time. It's bundle size. React's bundle is often 40 to 100 kilobytes just to start. Svelte, about 22 kilobytes. And Quick, they claim you can ship just 1 kilobyte of JS to get interactive. Why does this matter? Because JavaScript is the most expensive thing you can send to a browser. It has to be downloaded, parsed, and executed. That takes time. That drains battery. That makes the web feel slow. We are literally building heavier and heavier pages, using more and more abstractions to solve problems that the web platform itself has already fixed. Vue transitions? Native now. CSS grid? Also native. The platform caught up, but we're too addicted to our frameworks to notice. Cost 3. The maintenance trap. I like to call it dependency hell. When you import a framework, you're not just importing the code. You're importing a contract that says, I will update this every 6 months or I will be vulnerable to security issues. One German software team documented their experience with a framework called Caliburn Micro. They used it because it made the MVVM pattern easy, but then the maintainer abandoned it. Suddenly, their so-called easy solution was a dead end. They had to rip it out and write their own 200-line solution to replace thousands of lines of framework code. Now hear me out on my wisdom. Dependencies are technical debt. You take out a loan of complexity today and you pay interest on it every time you need to upgrade.
Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me.
And if the maintainer walks away, the bank calls in the loan, and you have to pay up with interest. You idiot. Cost 4, the risk of rewrite or death. The final cost is the big one. We get so addicted to the new thing that we start looking at our existing code base with disgust. This shit is old. This is legacy. We should rewrite it in Blazor. I have seen this kill companies. Not metaphorically, actually kill them. Because rewriting a stable working application in a new framework is not a refactor. It's a rewrite from scratch. You lose years of bug fixes, you lose domain logic that was never documented, you introduce new bugs. There's a reason why large companies like Free Agent took 3 years to remove jQuery from their stack. 3 years. And they did it carefully, piece by piece, not with a big bang rewrite. The hidden cost of framework addiction is that it convinces you that the tool is more important than the product. And if you believe that, you will spend your fucking life chasing tools while your competitors actually ship features. Yes, that's true, you fucking idiot. Part 3, a smarter path. Well, this part is actually going to make you smart. So technically, I will not be able to call you an idiot anymore. Okay, so I've spent 5 minutes shitting on the hype train. What's the alternative? Just write vanilla JS forever? Or go back to jQuery? Fuck no. The alternative is intentionality. It's treating framework selection like a business decision. 1. Ask, is this a technology or a hypothesis? When a new framework drops, it's not a technology yet. It's a hypothesis. It's someone's idea of a better way. A technology is something that has survived the trough of disillusionment. It has real-world users. It has case studies. It has a proven track record. Rails was declared dead for years, but companies like Shopify and GitHub kept investing in it. They added YJIT to make Ruby fast. They built tools. Now Rails is having a renaissance because it survived. Hear me out on my wisdom again. Don't bet your business on a hypothesis. Bet it on a technology. 2. Consider the make or buy decision. Next time you reach for a 500-line NPM package to left pad a string, ask yourself, can I write this myself in 10 minutes? If yes, then what are you fucking waiting for? Just write it. For bigger things like a framework, you have to ask yourself, what specific problem is this solving for my app? If you're building a content-heavy site, do you need React? Or would Astro, which ships 0 JavaScript by default, be a better fit? If you need heavy interactivity, look at the new wave. Solid for fine-grained reactivity, quick for resumability, svelte for compile time magic. These aren't just hype. They represent real architectural improvements over the virtual DOM. 3. Invest in the platform. This is the big one. Learn how the browser works, learn the DOM API, learn CSS grid, learn HTTP. Frameworks come and go. jQuery came and went. Angular came and went, mostly. React will eventually fade. But the platform is forever. When you understand the platform, you stop being a victim of the hype cycle. You can look at a new framework and say, oh, that's just a different way of doing what I already know. You're not dependent. You're in control. Now, at the end, I just want to congratulate you because you are not an idiot anymore.